Hello, I'm Shannon Harris. Thanks for tuning in to Window in Wilmington. On today's show, we'll have information to help you get ready for the voter registration deadline for the primary election. We'll also tell you how you can adopt a student. Old Brandywine Village Inc. presents Summer Twilight Concert Series, and we will have details for you and find out what's happening at the Department of Parks and Recreation. But first, the Delaware Department of Education is working hard to ensure that every student in the state of Delaware has access to a good education. Secretary of Education Mark Murphy joins me now to tell us about new initiatives, testing scores, which are in and we are very happy about, and all of the other good things that are happening with the Department of Ed.
Thanks for having me on today.
Oh, look, I'm so glad. We're building quite a relationship here. I'm learning a lot about education. So, testing scores are in.
Yes, they are. We just released the testing scores last week, and so all of our parents can go online and they can see how their schools are doing. They can key into an individual grade level at their school. In fact, the News Journal website shows all of this, and so a parent can take a look at that. And we've had a number of headlines we've seen in the media over the last week about our scores. And I think the thing that we are most excited about is that we had more students this year meet their individual academic growth targets than last year. And we had more last year than the year before. And what that really means is that at the individual student level, our teachers, our educators are doing a better job meeting the needs of our kids and accelerating their learning. There's been some great success stories in and around Wilmington too. As we sit here within a mile of us, there are a number of schools that are doing some great work. Lewis Dual Language has gone from one of the lowest performing schools in the state to accelerating their achievement and being one of the fastest improving schools in the state. And Eastside Charter School, just the opposite direction, about a mile from here, is doing some great work to accelerate their achievement as well.
Mark, what is so different that these schools are now able to accelerate in achievement for the students?
It is a focus on the right things. And by the right things, there's no magic bullet in education. You have to do a lot of different components. And so a couple of the key ones that we constantly hear from our education leaders is first, you have to make sure you've got great educators in the building. And that starts with the principal. So we have to have great leaders leading our schools. That's the school principal. That's the assistant principal. And then you have to have great teachers. And you have to develop them and provide them with the right conditions to thrive. And those two factors are the two most important in-school factors for our children's success. And the research is incredibly clear on that. Teachers most important, and our principals are the second most important factor in our schools for whether our children are going to succeed. And then once you have that, you've got these great people, you have to provide them with a great system. And one of those systems is around the standards, the Common Core standards that many people have talked about recently and our educators have been implementing now for a number of years. And so that set of academic standards, and for parents who want to think about this, the simplest way to think about it is, what does a child need to know and be able to do in 4th grade or 5th grade or 8th grade in order to know that they're on a track for success?
I got to tell you, Mark, my son, who is now going into 1st grade, compared to when I was in 1st grade, it is completely different. So what I knew in 1st grade, I mean, these kids are light years beyond that now, what they need to know. And I guess as a parent, for a parent with only one child, it was a little hard for me to understand where your kid should be. I just didn't know.
We hear that a lot from parents. And so the couple of things, we now see 1st graders who are reading full books. Right? And when we went to school, that wasn't necessarily the case. We see kids in kindergarten and 1st grade who are able to manipulate numbers and do all sorts of great things with adding and subtracting numbers that I'm not so sure that we were doing.
Right.
And so we certainly see that, and we see parents asking, why is this? And I think what is most important is that we have to set our children up for success in a 21st century world. And that means that when they get through elementary and middle and high school, that they are ready to be successful beyond those high school walls. And that requires a strong skill set and a foundation in how to write, how to read, how to do math. And that's what the Common Core standards do for us. They articulate what a student should know and be able to do at each grade level. And so right now you could take a look at what your 1st grader should be able to do in 1st grade, and you can be confident that if you look at that, that's putting your child on a track to be successful later.
Listen, and just the summer assignments, so you don't forget what you learned. I was like, okay, let me read this again. I probably read it like 30 times before I finally understood. And he was like, no, Mom, you have to do it like this. I was like, no, let me read this. You're not right. He was like, no, I'm right. He was right. So I'm still learning.
Yes, yes, and he may have different strategies.
Ugh.
You know, what we've also learned is that teaching has come a long way in the last couple of decades, and the way that our children are being taught now is frankly more sophisticated than when we went to school. The teachers are better at it. And so we'll see students come home with new math strategies or new reading strategies that might not be real familiar to us as parents.
How do you think parents should prepare their kids for success at school?
Yes. So one thing that we don't often talk a lot about but is incredibly important is for parents to help their child to develop a growth mindset. And what this means very simply is that we have to teach our children that you're not born smart. You get smart, and you get smart through hard work. And if you do that hard work, you put forward that effort, that you will get better and better at reading, at math, at science. And you can make the analogy with things like sports and things like musical instruments, that you don't expect to pick up a trumpet day one and play like Miles Davis. But if you keep practicing and practicing and practicing, you'll get better. And we have to teach our children that that's how it is for academics too.
Right.
But many people believe you're either born smart or you're not born smart. And so as parents, we have to teach our children that no, it's their work, their effort that helps them to be successful.
Mark, do you have are there any challenges attracting, great teachers and principals to schools that are a little bit more troubled?
Absolutely. So what we know right now in the United States is that we have a very hard time retaining teachers, especially in their beginning years. We actually lose many teachers in those first 4 or 5 years. And then if we look at schools that serve primarily populations living in poverty, those more high-need schools, they have a much harder time attracting and retaining really great educators. This is actually something that the governor has been talking about here in Delaware for the last year and a half, and we were able to work with the legislature to pass a bill to look at this very issue, to look at how we attract teachers, how we pay them, what their career opportunities are, and how should that look the same or different in a high-need school. This is a critical component because, as we just talked about a few minutes ago, the teacher, the quality of the teaching is the most important factor. So how do we make sure that our teachers who are most highly skilled are with our students who need them the most?
Right. So I guess that's more of a long-term plan to get them to not only come but to stay.
So we have been working in the short term over the last couple of years on something called the Delaware Talent Cooperative. And what that is it provides educators with the opportunity to move to a high-need school. If they're a good educator, they can move to a high-need school and they can earn more money. And when they are there, they have greater opportunities, leadership opportunities in that school. And if they're already in a high-need school and they're part of this Delaware Talent Cooperative and they're doing great with kids, then we will provide them with additional money, additional salary to stay in that school, to commit to staying and retaining in that school. So that's the short term. The long term is asking, how do we set up a compensation system, a career opportunity system for educators to make sure that we can better attract them to those high need schools?
That is a really good idea. That is, and it gives incentives because you're not just, and I don't want to say that, I guess everybody feels like you're in a rut after a while, but there is incentive, like you said, for additional leadership opportunities, things like that.
This is so critical. That rut idea is that sometimes teachers, after 5 or 10 years, we hear from them, and much of the survey data is telling us this, especially with younger teachers, that they don't have the same career aspirations as people may have had 30 years ago. They want to change, they want new opportunities, they want new jobs, but they don't want to leave the classroom. And so right now, if you're a teacher and you want to earn significantly more money or have greater leadership responsibilities, you most often have to leave the classroom and maybe become an assistant principal or a principal. And what we hear over and over again is that teachers want to stay with the children and teaching them, but they don't have career opportunities to advance. So the governor, a year and a half ago in the State of the State, and this year in the State of the State, talked about this very issue. And so one of the things that we will be working on over these coming 4 or 5 months is how do we provide teachers with leadership opportunities in the school so that they can also stay in the classroom. And that could be a state role to set up a system that allows that to happen.
And you know what, Mark, we are out of time, but I just wanted to give a real quick plug because students in Delaware just brought home the probably the national title championship conference STEM. It's a long title, but they just won.
Yes, and STEM, for those viewers who don't know, we're talking about science and technology, engineering and mathematics. And we've had students, during the summer, our students go to all these different competitions around the country, STEM competitions, skills competitions, and it is great. If you look at our website, in fact, we put out press releases on which students have won what and what schools. And there's some incredible things to celebrate. And as we know, that area of science, technology, engineering, and math, that's where many of the jobs of the future are. So let's equip our kids with those skills.
Well, way to go, all the winning students and the schools, and way to go, Department of Ed. We're glad that you guys are in there hitting the ground hard, working on a lot of things to keep these schools going and move them into the future even faster.
Thanks for the opportunity to talk.
Thanks, Mark, and you got to come back and keep us up to date about what's happening.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Up next, voter information when we return.
Thanks for calling the GED Pep Talk Center. Jerry Stiller speaking. Your level 7 in-your-face pep talk.
I can keep pushing. Believe me, I'm good at it.
Once you've got your GED diploma, you'll feel so good about yourself.
You tell them.
Mr. Trejo, can I transfer this guy to you? He needs something a little more
Persuasive?
yes.
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
Today, school kids rely on the internet for so many things: homework, math, research. But what about kids who don't have internet at home? Hello, I'm Theo Gregory, Wilmington City Council President. The internet is essential, as many as 80% of low-income families do not have access at home, including many right here in Wilmington. So help bridge this gap by supporting local broadband adoption programs. Let's get more students and families connected to the power of the internet.
It's hard to believe that midterm elections are basically around the corner, and State of Delaware Department of Elections for New Castle County Director Anthony Albence is here now with information on this year's midterm elections, voting processes, and gosh, I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
No, it's been a while.
Yeah, since like the last election.
Probably.
Gosh. But I'm glad you're here, Anthony.
Thank you.
And well, first of all, is this a big election?
Well, in our world, of course, every election's a big election
Right.
because all the preparation, all of the run-up is exactly the same regardless of how many races or how many offices, much of it's the same prep. So for this election, like you said, it is a midterm or non-presidential year. Very important election because we have offices all the way from the federal level down to the county and state representative level. So there's a lot of options out there, and we definitely want folks to come out and vote. Because our audience here for the show is largely City of Wilmington, just to clarify for folks, this year we do not have City of Wilmington offices on the ballot. So in case any of the city residents are wondering why they haven't seen anything about city council or mayor, those offices ran in 2012, and there's none of them that are up in the 2014 election.
Right, so what's up now would be Senate?
Right, if anything, everything from your Senate, representative in Congress, you also have the county level offices, you also have we'll have state representative offices, we'll have
Right.
Senate, things of that nature. So yeah, there's definitely many races out there for which City of Wilmington residents need to participate, folks that represent them, but wanted to be sure to clarify that no city level offices are on the ballot in case anyone was wondering.
Okay, so now what should folks be prepared for this year when they go and vote for the midterm? Little changes here?
Really, in our, you may hear a lot in the news across the country of different issues, of different changes. We have no real changes in our procedure here, and we're very happy that our procedures and our policies, are very steady and very consistent across the years. Coming up first in the election season is the primary on September 9th, and Delaware is a state, a closed primary state, meaning that it's open to Democrats and Republicans. So Democrats vote on the Democratic ballot, Republicans vote the Republican ballot. Where we are right now, just so folks know, the period for party changes is closed until after the primary. So you're not able to change your party right now, but there's still plenty of time, though, to register to vote for the primary if you haven't. And that is, that deadline comes up August 16th.
Okay.
And you may remember, some of the viewers may remember in the past, and we will do this again this election season, we offer voter registration at various new Castle County libraries. We'll have that. Our office is open. We also really want to encourage folks to use the tools that are available online. You may see I have a shirt on that says I vote.
Yes, and I was going to say, what is that? But we do see your I vote shirt.
iVote.de.gov. This is, we're really proud of this. This is actually a new
should be
initiative.
wearing one.
This is a great new initiative. And I have the shirt on, obviously, to try to promote it. And what it is, basically, it's an enhancement of our online services that we offer. And what's really great about this is that with iVote now, we now have joined the community of true online registration. So you can actually fully complete your voter registration or update your voter information online. In the past, you could do most of the transaction online, but you still had to print out, sign, and mail in your registration form. Now you can do everything online. We have various options. You can import a signature if you have your signature scanned. You can access your DMV records if you have a Delaware driver's license or ID to use that as authentication. And also some other great things. For example, you can update your information. And that, by the way, we encourage, I want to tell the viewers this certainly, we encourage folks to do that anytime. There's really no deadline for that. Even though the voter registration deadline's August 16th, if you realize late August, even a week before the election, even a few days before the election, oh, I didn't update my address, go ahead online and do that. Because we want to make sure that when the voters come in to vote, that they have a smooth experience, they know where they're going, and all that sort of information, such as polling places, sample ballots, offices up for election, all that's available on iVote.de.gov.
Now, when you go on to iVote.de.gov, what are some things, what do I need to have so I can begin to access the system?
Sure. You just want to go ahead, you'll have just your basic identification information, your name, your birth date. If you have your polling place card, or you know from the past, and your voter ID, which is just a randomly assigned number, you can enter that as well. But really, just basic information. You do not need a polling place card to access it. And like I said, we have various options if you want to complete a transaction, ways you can authenticate your identity via the signature or via accessing your DMV records. If you do that, have your driver's license or your state ID, so you have your ID number or your license number and expiration date. Just basic info. And we really, our goal with all this is to try to make the whole process as easy, as convenient as possible. People can do it 24 hours a day from their home, from a tablet, mobile device. It's friendly to any of those formats.
What are some of the other self-serve functions that you guys have? Because I guess you're trying to make it so, and rightly so, that voters can get in, get out, everything is clear, no confusion.
Right. We can, as I mentioned, we can do registration and updates to registration. You can also request a polling place card if you need a replacement card. Those cards are not required for voting, but it's just a good reference tool. But if you don't have one and you need one, go ahead and request that. And actually, just if I can, Shannon, while we're on that note, one of the things I want to mention to folks is many people may recall around this time before an election, we send out the polling place card. And you'll get that. And you'll see advertising for that. One of the things we want to encourage folks is look for that card. Again, it's not required to vote, but it's a good reference. If you get the card, everything's fine. No need to contact us. If you don't get a card or you notice something's wrong, feel free to contact us. Our information's on the card. But really, because we have iVote now, we're encouraging folks, if they can, go to iVote and use that to update their record. They can do it again at any time. They don't need to call when we're open. They don't need to come to the office when we're open. They're welcome to, but they can use those services now and do things at their convenience on their own time. But the other things, to answer your question as well about what we can do on iVote, all the other services, such as absentee. Absentee voting for the viewers who may not do that all the time or may not have done it. Again, that's for voting, the opportunity to vote when you can't appear at your polling place. You know, for example, you may be out of town for work, or you may be ill, or something may have come up. Go on the site, go on iVote. You can access that. You can request a ballot.
Military folks can use that.
Military folks, certainly. People who are serving in the military, folks living overseas. Students are one of those groups, as I mentioned about. We consider that as part of your occupation if you're out of the area. Go on iVote. You can access that. The process is a lot easier now. It's a lot simpler. And then you can request a ballot. We'll send you a ballot. We even include a stamp to mail it back. So we try to make it easy.
Nice.
Try to make it easy and convenient for folks. Yes.
Well, that is definitely nice. We all like a self-stamped envelope.
Yes,
Say
exactly
that 3 times
right.
real fast. My God. And real quick, Anthony, before we go, additional voter services locations. Are there any?
Yes, that's one of the things. We started this as a pilot program in 2012, and this year we're continuing it. Again, I realize most of our audience is in the city, and our main office is in the state building, Carville State Building on the 4th floor. But we also have a satellite office now at our training center and warehouse, which is in Newcastle, Lisa Drive. It's near Quigley Boulevard, near the big post office and near the airport. That will also offer voter services, absentee voting. It's also where we train a lot of our poll workers. Any of the folks who are election officers, they may have gone there for training, but that's also a satellite location as well. And that'll have some evening hours as well as our main office. So folks, if they're in that area, if it's more convenient to pop in there, we'll have services there as well to complement what we have here in the city.
Okay, AA, it is always a pleasure to see you, keeping our voters straight. Yeah, and I guess we'll see you back here again. And then, gosh, we'll be gearing up again for the big elections.
Yes, September 9th is the primary, November 4th will be the general election.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Shannon.
And if anybody has any questions, what should they do?
Yes, they can go to ivote.de.gov. They can go to our office website, electionsncc.delaware.gov. And our main office number is 302-577-3464.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me here. Appreciate it.
iVote.de.
Thank you.
All right, see you later.
Take care.
We'll be back with Adopt a Student after these messages.
We are your Wilmington City Council, and we're also your neighbors. We're asking you to let us know about your community events, achievements, concerns, and issues.
That's why we created a special email address that will connect you to all of us in City Council.
Drop us an email about things going on in your neighborhood with Community Events 22 at wilmingtonde.gov. That's Community Events 22 at wilmingtonde.gov.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Adopt a Family has helped Delaware families in need since 1973. The program aids families in crisis, those struggling with illnesses, homelessness, domestic violence, poverty, and unemployment. But they also help students. So Lisa Johnson and Delores Tatman are here now to tell us about the Adopt a Student program, which I did not know anything about. I thought it was strictly Adopt a Family, but I'm glad to hear that there's Adopt a Student. And we just had the Secretary of Education on talking about the importance and everything that's going on with the school districts. So this is really a great program that you have going.
Absolutely it is. And Ms. Delores and I will probably pitch hit.
Yeah. Actually, we started the program at 2000. And prior to about 5 years ago, we actually supplied students with school supplies, backpacks, and we were doing over 2,000 a year. For the last...
Why did you know that you needed to start giving these kids the supplies?
Actually, there was a need. And so we had the opportunity to participate. And then we had a lot of participation from the community as far as school supplies. And that was a big thing maybe, 10 years ago. But about 4 years ago, there was a greater need for uniforms since most of the school districts have uniforms of certain colors. So now we actually supply them with uniforms or clothing. We still get donations of school supplies that we do give out.
Yeah, we transitioned to a gift card program for schools for uniforms. We found that since most of the schools are requiring students to wear uniforms now, and we're in the business of helping needy families, and a lot of times they just cannot afford to buy those extra things. So we depend on the generosity again of our of the community, the same folks who help us with the school supplies and the backpacks to come and help us to provide gift cards to families, to stores that consider themselves uniform headquarters, so that the families can go and the parents can purchase the uniform pieces for the kids.
How do you identify these students for the Adopt a Student program?
We have a referral program, and in the schools they have family crisis therapists and other staffers who work with needy families, and they know the families, they develop relationships with the families, and they actually send us referrals to tell us this family needs school supplies, this family needs uniforms, and that's how we identify them. And the process is we get the referrals in, and then we get to interact with the family because we contact the family directly once we have everything in that we can offer them for the school year.
And Lisa, I was reading something on the website that said that, it is so important to make sure these students start the school year off, properly prepared.
Absolutely, absolutely. You don't want children are mean these days, unfortunately. And if I go to school and I'm in my jeans and my shirt and everyone else is in a uniform, they might tease me. They will more than likely, definitely tease me.
Oh, you're getting teased. Right.
And even if you don't have that, or if you don't have a pencil, what do you mean you don't have a pencil? Your mom can't give you a pencil? Just little taunting things like that. So we try to, even though our philosophy is that even though families are needy, they need the little extra help, that we want our children to go to school and not have to feel like they're going to be chastised in some cases, or abused by other students because they don't have. And that creates a whole lot of other issues for kids, behavior problems that transition into other major, bigger things at school, and then prevents teachers from being able to do what they can do, what they're there to do, which is to teach children and not have to deal with behavior problems.
Yeah, that would be a problem. You're dealing with an issue that's other than schoolwork, behind somebody not being properly prepared, and through no fault of their own.
Bullying can come into play. So our job is to just help the families, and people don't have to know that you received a gift card from us to buy school uniforms.
Now, how does that go? How do you do that?
Well, our donors actually will go out and purchase gift cards to stores that we have identified as uniform headquarters, and they'll purchase $30 or $50 increments in gift cards and deliver them to our office. And then we will distribute them to the families that have been presented to us by the schools.
Our goal was basically to provide 2 uniforms per child.
And we found that a $50 gift card to Foreman Mills or Rainbow will definitely allow a parent to go and purchase 2 complete school uniforms for their child.
So besides the uniforms, are you still doing the backpacks?
Absolutely.
So so they can get the gift card for the uniforms and the backpack?
Yes, because we have a lot. We have churches, we have the Girl Scouts, we still have all these organizations and community members who have supported us all these years since 2000, as Ms. Delores said. They still want to do the school supply drives, and they still want to it's great because when you're out shopping for your children, you can purchase. And then when the groups of people, like AstraZeneca, for instance, always supports us, and their staff pools together, and everyone goes out and brings in something.
Right.
And then we go and pick up everything.
Right. So besides the gift cards, tell us what's needed to fill these backpacks. And I guess you need donations of backpacks too, right?
We need backpacks, and we need all kinds of school supplies: pencils, pens, erasers, pencil boxes, glue,
composition
books, loose leaf paper, binders,
folders,
everything. We service children from grades 1 to 8.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Okay.
And in Staples, they have lists, grade appropriate lists. We also have grade appropriate lists that we give to our donors. If there's anyone out there who has not received a mailing from us, please call us at 302-792-9538. We will be happy to email you the information. You can email us at lisa.mb.johnson@state.de.us, and we will make sure that you get the information you need, whether you have the capacity to do gift cards for uniforms, or if you have the capacity to do backpacks and school supplies. My staff is there right now.
And Lisa, and I'm chuckling because you were just like, listen, let me know. We will get this to you.
Yes, absolutely, because we can't do it without our donors. We don't receive any government funding, Shannon. No government funding at all. Everything that we do in Adopt a Family is based upon the generosity of the community. So if we don't have it, we can't give it out.
When should folks start sending in donations?
Now. Our deadline is August the 7th, and of course there's always people who just find out about us, and don't worry about the deadline if you want to help. School's in session all year, so
because you can accept donations all year long.
Yes. Right, except that in October we transition to our holiday program, so we won't have a lot of time to
so
work
stop in
on
October.
students.
Let's get the holiday, and then we'll start right back up in January.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So in between August and September, we told the schools that the family crisis therapists and the schools that you can send referrals up until September the 14th, which is 2 weeks into school, and we will work on getting families what they need up until that time. So donors, just send it all in. Send it all in. And then if you bring it to us and we have that great overflow, which we did last year, we'll call the schools and we'll invite the schools to come in and get the school supplies, because in the spring they're going to need things for their students, and we'll just pass it on to the schools so that they can help the kids for the entire school year.
And remember, that's Lisa.
M as in Mary. Right. Yes, that's me. That's me. Lisa.mb.johnson@state.de.us.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies,
thank
for
you,
joining
Shannon.
us. I love the enthusiasm.
Yes,
for this.
and Mr. Lewis has been around. I always say 100 years, but that's
well,
over-exaggeration.
a long time.
But Mr. Lewis was here when Adopt a Family started, so we yield to her very often. She's our leader. She's the president of our nonprofit council, which is the Human Services Council Incorporated.
Yes, thank you.
So Mr. Lewis is larger than charge, as we say, but she's our fearless leader.
And then also, let me just add too, every year we always end up with the emergency referrals. There's always a fire, unfortunately. And so occasionally we will also sponsor high school kids that there's been a fire in their home.
Okay.
For tragic.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Love having you here. And we'll see you back here around the holiday time so we can adopt a family.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you.
Thanks, community.
Thank you.
Family fun at Parks and Rec when we return.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
Accidents happen. So do huge medical bills. Find out how to get health insurance coverage by visiting ChooseHealthDE.com.
You're in love with me on TV today.
Well, you just did, and I'm not. The Department of Parks and Rec, don't listen to what Sean Baker said. We know you have a lot of fun programs at Parks and Rec, and they're in full swing, and you're joining us right now to tell us about all the programs and what's new and all that great stuff.
Yes, we do. We have a lot of outstanding things going on in the Department of Parks and Recreation. As you well know, we have 5 divisions in Parks and Recreation. We have the administration, maintenance, youth and families, Hicks Anderson Community Center, and also the Recreation Division. So we have a lot of good things going on, and things are going throughout all of the divisions, and people are working very hard in good weather and good hot weather. Thank God that He's blessed us with a great day today. We have a special event today over at Haynes Park with 30 to 60 kids coming in and learning how to play tennis, collaborating with the USTA and the RSTA, Riding Street Tennis and Tutoring Association. They're over there participating, and we just left, and they're having a great time, and we're going to feed them around lunchtime, and they're going to enjoy themselves. The group is from Southbridge.
Is this a one-day event?
This is a one-day event, one morning event with Miss Cynthia Williams in the Southbridge Neighborhood House. They're have some outstanding kids. They were dressed well, and again, collaborating with Miss Kelly Rosario, Miss Nancy Kuiper, Miss Monique Holloway to put this program on and to give our children an opportunity to participate in some non-traditional activities. You know, we always participating in football and basketball and baseball and track and field, but we want to give our students a chance to participate in the tennis and rugby and lacrosse and some soccer and some different activities, because we believe that when a student or a child is being able to participate, they're always much better. They're always much more active, and they don't have a chance to get into any crime.
Right. So now, we talked about the sort of a non-traditional activity. I know you guys have the men's softball, so what's going on with that?
We have 7 teams in our men's softball league. The league is going fine. Right now, Cherokee Farms is the top team. I think Newark is second, and Cozy and Cherokee split. There's 3 great teams. There's 2 middle teams, and there's 2 teams that not quite as good. Right now, that's going very well. They're participating. They'll play another 3 or 4 weeks, and then in the middle of August, middle to late August, they'll go into the playoffs and finish up around Labor Day.
Okay. Now, how do kids get involved with the Wilmington High School basketball league?
That's our Crozier basketball league, and that was going on a long time before I got here. We've taken it over the last 15 years. We have 17 teams in the league, teams from all the way from Central out of Philadelphia, all the way from Woodbridge down to Southern Delaware, and they come and play at least 2 times a week. Some teams have played 10 games, 11, 12, 13 games, depending on the schedule. Outstanding league. We're into our playoffs now. We had our first round last night at the Powell Center and at Hicks Anderson Community Center. And right now the top teams are Sanford, Central, Octorara out of Pennsylvania is pretty good, and there's a couple other teams. Newark is pretty good. So it's just a great league. The kids play. We have 10 to 12 kids on a team. It services about 200 kids per year, and we look forward to doing it. It's just been an outstanding league.
Now, what's happening with Safe Haven? And for folks who might not know what Safe Haven is, could you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. Safe Haven is at Hicks Anderson. We do a Safe Haven program from 8 at night to 10 p.m. Every Friday, and then we do Safe Haven again from 12 to 4 Saturday afternoons. We're averaging about 50 to 55 kids on Safe Haven. They come in.
That's a lot of kids.
Yeah, it is. Well, the one night we had 76 kids because we get the attendance. Matter of fact, we do attendance twice there. We have a double check with that. As they come in, they have to sign in, at the front desk, and once they sign in, we have an activity sheet at each activities. And we have about 7 or 8 activities they can participate in. We open up the pool, we staff it with lifeguards, and they go swim, or they can play basketball in the gym. We also have a dodgeball game. We also open up the game room. Also, the weight training and fitness facility is also open. And we open up the computer lab to try to do some academic, some educational things. And the kids come in and get on a computer, and we have a computer technician that comes in. We staff it with 6 or 7 staff members, and it's just an outstanding activity.
Now, I think that's a great idea. Why do you think that program is seeing such a high number? You know, for Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and these kids are there. It's a good thing now. It's a good thing.
Kids want something to do. They want some type of structure to a degree, but they also don't want some structure. So it's it kind of services both ends. We have some structure because it's a safe environment. They come in, they participate, then they can do what they want to do. You know, they can go from place to place. We don't tell them they have to be here for 10 minutes. They have to be there for 10 minutes. They decide where they want to go, and they enjoy it. And it's been a real nice activity.
Do you think that's a program you might add to?
Well,
we've seen the need.
We get a grant from the state. Our deputy director moves forward on it, and he gets the grant. It's about a $25,000 grant. 18,000 of it, I think, is for salaries and for things of that nature, and then 7,000 is for food and some miscellaneous activities. We're trying to bring some speakers in. We're trying to bring some people in to talk to the kids about nutrition, about lifestyle, about checking accounts. You know, we're going to do that as we move forward. We didn't start till July 5th, and the grant goes from the 1st of July until September 30th. So we have some time to get some kids involved and to get some people involved. The ages are from anywhere from 6 until 15, 16 years old, so it's that time where we can influence them to do some different things. It's just a real nice program.
It is a nice program, and glad to hear that so many kids are taking advantage of it.
Yes.
And I didn't know you fed them.
Yes, we feed them. We feed them every night. Hot dogs, hamburgers, pretzels, pizza. One night we had fish one night. This weekend I think we're doing hot dogs again, but we'll probably do fish next weekend. So, and they eat. They sit there and they eat at the end of the day. At the end of the day, at 9:45 on Friday night, Mr. Bendel Barnes, Mr. Levi Coates, Mr. Maurice Hollis will be getting the food ready, and we'll get the food ready, and we'll all go in the game room and we all eat. Everybody gets a hot dog or a hamburger or fish or a piece of pizza or something, and they eat and they enjoy the food. You know, It's a very positive program.
Glad to hear that. Now let's talk about pools before we go. Are all the pools open? What are our schedules looking like? And what do people need to remember if they want to go to the city pools?
Well, our pools are open. The pool calendar is on the website. All of our pools are open at least 5 days a week, for the exception of Eden, and it's open 6 days a week. All of our pools are full swing. We have PS open. PS will be open on Monday, PS DuPont up at 37th and Monroe, 38th and Monroe, 38th and Madison. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, down on Thursday, and open Friday. So they're open 4 days a week from 1 to 6. Hicks Anderson's open 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 1 to 6. Prices is open every day except Sunday and Thursday. Eden is open every day except Friday, and then Brown Pool right here at 6th and Lombard, 7th and Lombard is open every day except Tuesday and Wednesday. So we rotate it so we at least have 1 or 2 pools open per day so people can swim. On the Saturday, all pools are open. On Sunday, prices is down. So the pools are full swing. Our maintenance department, Mr. Mark Speranza, Mr. Lenny Williams, Mr. Matt Emerson, and Glenn Hamilton have done a great job in getting our pools up and ready. They look great. The water's clean. Even we're even collaborating with the YMCA. They come and swim on Tuesday and Wednesday from the Walnut Street branch. So our pools are doing real well. We're having good attendance. Right now we're at about 28,000 for attendance at this time. Last year we were about 38,000 for the year. So we expect to be about 40,000 participants participating in our pools. Our lifeguards are doing a good job. Our aquatics coordinator, Naeem Collins, is doing an excellent job of coordinating the lifeguards and moving them. But again, we have people going on vacation, people get sick, people call off, people do this, but we're still putting one foot in front of the other and getting the job done.
Okay. Well, I'm so glad that you could be here today with all of the information. If anybody wants to find out about the Parks and Recreation programs, what should they do?
2 different things. They can go on the city website. All of our programs are up on the city website, or they can call 302-576-3810 and we'll be able to get them in the right direction. The last thing I would like to say is we want to thank Christina School District, Red Clay School District, and Brandywine School District for collaborating with us this year on a lot of activities. You know, everything. We need facilities, we need people to assist us, and those 3 school districts have been outstanding in collaborating with us and doing great things.
Okay.
And a shout out to everybody at Parks and Rec that's working real hard and just getting the job done. The food program is going real well, and things are we're just moving forward.
Okay. Thank you, Parks and Rec. We appreciate it. All right, Sean. Well, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
All right, and we'll see you next time.
All righty.
Summer Twilight Concert Series when we return.
I want my Ed TV.
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 Now.
I want my Ed TV. I want my Ed TV.
The Sunday Summer Twilight Concert Series began its second year on May 4th. This concert series is sponsored by Old Brandywine Village, Inc. Bev Zimmerman is here to tell us all about it, and she is joined by jazz guitarist Bruce Anthony. We always love live entertainment, Bev. How you doing?
I'm fine, Shannon. So good to see you.
Good to see you too. You
glad
look
we could have
great.
Bruce
Yeah,
on
and I'm
here,
glad
too.
Bruce is with us. And this is a great thing with the concerts. Tell us about these concerts.
Well, we started them last year. Peg Teig, who lives in Old Brandywine Village, and she was the executive director of the Kalmar Nickel, which is how I know her from back in the 90s.
That's how I know her.
I know.
From Kalmar Nickel.
She contacted me and said, you know, we'd like to start doing a series of concerts in Old Brandywine Village and build awareness and get some community activities going. So we did a series last year of 5 concerts the first Sunday of the month, and we're doing it again this year. So it takes place, well, last year it took place in H. Fletcher Brown Park, but it was supposed to be under construction this year, and it may still be, like later this summer. The Wilmington Rotary is going to put an amphitheater in there. Yeah, I know.
That's nice.
I know.
Yeah,
so next year, we might be playing in a much better,
the
you know,
amphitheater.
I guess. So right now we're doing the concerts behind the Hercules building, and actually that's a nice little amphitheater itself.
Right.
Because there's some rounded steps and a raised platform, so people just bring out their, you know, their lawn chairs, or there's a wall there that people can sit and enjoy the concert. And we tell people they can bring their, you know, something to eat and drink. They can bring their dogs.
Is this free? Are they free?
It's free.
Really?
Yeah, it takes place at 6 p.m. first Sunday of the month. The next one will be August 3rd, featuring Bruce Anthony. And he's got 2 performers playing with him.
Rob Hayslip and Sam Nobles.
Wow.
Yeah. Stand-up bass and?
Drums.
Drums, okay.
Really?
So it'll be a nice concert. And then in September 7th is going to be Crab Meat Thompson.
Crab Meat Thompson.
Crab Meat Thompson.
Oh, Crab
and
Meat.
and he is very entertaining. Just
Well, a name like Crab Meat, yeah.
Well, how can you not be? And this leads up to our Village Fair, which is the first Saturday in October. And it's celebrating the village, and we have live music at that. It's featuring, this year, it's going to be Roger Girk, who is a well-known blues band, the Steve Barbone Band, who does Dixieland Jazz, J.C. Fisher, who is, I guess, more rock and roll kind of cover band. We've got the Imperial Dynasty Drum Corps starting it off.
So this really seems like this is really something that's great that's going on. And do you think people were really aware of it?
Probably not as much. With the first year event, you know, and you know, doing this show and you know, doing as much as we can on social media, and stuff like that to make it aware. And the businesses that are in Old Brandywine Village, such as Colorworks, that's been there for many, many years. Habitat for Humanity is there. Maisley Gloves. the Junior League, who else? The Wilmington Senior Center, Mark Street Pharmacy, and it just goes on right around there. And it's just a nice little area there. Plus, we started a little art series with K.O. Sims. Many people know him, another local artist, where he, on the first, or actually every Sunday this summer through August 10th, is doing an en plein air art series where you can come out, bring your own art materials, and he meets in that little triangular park right at Superfine and Market, and then takes people to different areas, and they can just sit there and draw.
Really?
And what we're doing is a poster contest for the Village Fair. So these people can sit and draw, and they can submit their drawings, and we'll have a little panel to judge which one we'll use for the official poster art.
Now, Bruce, why do you, now, I'm going to say, why do you like playing at venues like this? It sounds quaint and, you know, community-oriented and all that great stuff.
It is all those things. And it's also a chance for me to let people know that I play other places throughout Wilmington and Delaware. The best thing about playing for an event like Bev's is it's outside.
Right.
You know, and it's summertime. You know, musicians, all musicians die to play outside during the summertime. I hope we have good weather. We've been having some good weather lately.
Yeah, whatever this is,
yeah,
glass, wicker. Yeah, right, resin. I don't know. Right. It's a really record, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Brandywine Park, I have a special love for the park because I've played there for the Brandywine Art Show.
Yeah.
And I've been living in this area for a while, so.
Right. So why don't you play us something? We have time to hear something from you, and then we'll come back and talk more to Bev.
Sure.
Are you going to sing too?
I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. It's kind of early.
I will not be singing.
Well, I don't know. I might chime in. Not saying I sing good. Depends on what the song is, but I do sing every now and then. I've been known for that. I won't ruin your song, Bruce.
No. So would you like me to play the strings now? Would you?
Yeah, go ahead. Play. I like your guitar.
Thanks. It's loner.
Now you play electric guitar too, right?
Yeah, I also play electric. When I play solo, normally it's plugged in. The acoustic guitar is plugged in, so it's, you know, has a cord coming out of it and going to an amplifier.
Right.
But I just thought I'd bring an acoustic for you today.
Well, we like acoustic.
Yeah.
Okay.
This song is an original tune. I guess I'll sing.
Yeah, you gotta sing. Yeah, we'll enjoy this.
It's called The Good Life. Beautiful, marvelous, yes, the good life. Beautiful, marvelous, helps him to bring out his best. But for now, he's alone, contemplating what went wrong. Now the good life is gone. Now the good life is gone. Beautiful, marvelous, yes, the good life is gone. You see, the party life appetite brought him to his knees one night. So for now, he's alone, wondering what went wrong. Now the good life is gone. Now the good life is gone. Beautiful, marvelous, yes, the good life is gone. Beautiful, marvelous, yes, the good life is a happy end.
Yay!
A happy end. His lady friend helps his heart to sing again. Through it all, he survives, begging to give one more try at the good life inside. Now the good life is inside. Beautiful, marvelous, yes, the good life is inside. That's an original tune. It's called
I
Good
like
Life.
that. Yay!
And Bruce, how do we reach you if we want to hire you for, you know, an upcoming event?
Well, I'm in Wilmington, so I'm really close. I'm on Facebook. You can reach me there. But I tell you the truth, you can come into Union City Grill on any Tuesday and see me.
Okay.
So.
And you know what? You guys stay there. Bev, real quick though, if anybody wants to find out more about Brandywine Village, the concert series, what should they do?
They can go to our Facebook page, which is Old Brandywine Village Inc., or they can go to our website, which is oldbrandywinevillage.org.
Okay.
And all of that's on there.
Okay, and you guys stay with us because Bruce is going to play us out for the
Okay.
end of the show. So Window and Wilmington will be back after these messages.
Rockabilly Rumble is Gable Music Ventures and World Cafe Live at the Queen's Indoor-Outdoor Music Festival on Market Street. The Rain or Shine event offers fun for the whole family, including food trucks, delicious barbecue, local clothing, vinyl and antique vendors, and a beer garden with plenty of rockabilly, swing, and roots music leading into late-night shenanigans. Kids under 12 get in free, and tickets are $10 to gain access to the daytime portion, $20 for the evening, and $25 for shebang. Doors open at noon and the music kicks off at 1 p.m.
Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in to Window and Wilmington. For everybody here at WITN Channel 22, I'm Shannon Harris. We'll see you next time.